You know that feeling, right? You track a package, you see it zoom hundreds of miles in a single day, and then it just sits there in a local facility just a few miles from your house. It feels like it's so close yet so far away. Well, you've just experienced the last mile problem firsthand. It's that final, maddeningly complex step in getting something to your door. And as we're about to see, it is by far the most expensive part of the entire journey.
Okay, check out this number because it really puts the whole thing into perspective. Over half, more than 50% of a product's entire shipping cost is spent on just this one final leg of the trip. Just let that sink in for a second. It costs more to move a package across a single city than it does to move it across the entire country. That is the absolutely staggering scale of the last mile problem.
So let's get a little more specific about what this costly final step actually is. We call it the last mile, but it's not really about a specific distance. It's about the whole messy process of getting goods from that last warehouse right into your hands.
Now, when you read the definition on paper, it sounds pretty simple, right? It's just the final step. But in the real world, this is where the super efficient, well-oiled machine of logistics basically slams into a brick wall. It's just riddled with inefficiency and unbelievable costs, turning what should be a simple drop-off into a huge logistical headache.
And this slide right here, it just lays out the contrast perfectly. On one side, you've got long-haul shipping. That's a model of efficiency, right? One massive truck, thousands of packages, just cruising down an open highway. But the last mile, it is the exact opposite. It's a small van making maybe 100 individual stops, slogging through traffic jams and congested city streets. One big shipment becomes hundreds of tiny ones, and that's where all the efficiency just evaporates.
And this inefficiency isn't just because of one thing. Oh no, it's more like a perfect storm of problems that all pile on top of each other, creating what can only be described as an absolute logistical nightmare for these delivery companies.
I mean, just look at this web of challenges. You've got the insane fuel costs from all that stop-and-go driving, plus the constant wear and tear on the vehicles. You've got high driver wages, and then there's the killer, a failed delivery. If you're not home, that package has to go all the way back to the warehouse to be processed and sent out all over again. Now throw in unpredictable traffic, literally nowhere to park, and of course, all of us wanting our stuff delivered faster than ever, and you've got a seriously tough puzzle to solve.
For years, companies tried to fix this with just better maps or by hiring more drivers. But it was kind of like trying to patch a leaking dam with a Band-Aid. The sheer scale of this problem today, especially with e-commerce, demands something way, way smarter. The old ways just can't keep up anymore.
So this is where our story takes a really interesting turn. If the problem is this incredibly complex puzzle with a million moving parts, then the solution has to be something that can think through all those millions of possibilities in a split second. The answer, as it turns out, is found in advanced algorithms.
And there are basically two types of AI that are tackling this. First, over on the left, you've got Metaheuristics. Think of this as the tactical brain. Its job is to solve the puzzle right now. Find me a good enough route and do it fast. It's all about speed. But then on the right, you've got machine learning. This is the strategic brain. It's playing chess, not checkers. It's looking at all the data from the past to think several moves ahead, predicting demand and spotting problems before they even happen. Now, a genetic algorithm is a super cool example of metaheuristics. It basically mimics natural selection, but for delivery routes. Seriously. It starts by creating a whole bunch of random routes, a population. Then it tests them all and picks the fittest ones, the fastest or cheapest. Then it breeds those best routes together, mixes them up a little, and creates a new, better generation. It does this over and over, thousands of times a second, until it evolves a nearly perfect route. How cool is that?
But machine learning adds this whole other layer of genius on top. It's not just finding the best route for the packages you have today. It's analyzing everything: historical data, traffic patterns, weather forecasts, even what's trending online to predict where and when demand is going to spike tomorrow. This lets a company be proactive, not just reactive, getting drivers and vans in place before the rush even begins.
Okay, so this all sounds amazing in theory, right? But what does it actually look like out there in the real world? Let's take a look at how these algorithms are making deliveries smarter, faster, and cheaper for all of us.
So here are just a few examples. Your driver hits a huge unexpected accident. Boom. The system instantly reroutes them, but it also reroutes every other driver in the area to minimize the ripple effect. Or it can predict a huge holiday shopping surge in one specific neighborhood and tell the company to send more drivers there in advance. It can even predict the chances of a failed delivery at your address and suggest a better time slot for you. It's pretty incredible stuff.
So let's look at a real case study. There was this major e-commerce giant, and they were just getting hammered by delivery costs in big cities. Money was flying out the door because of all those challenges we just talked about. They knew they had to find a different way.
So they brought in a system that combined both metaheuristics for the daily routing and machine learning for the big picture forecasting. And this chart, well, it just says it all, doesn't it? As you can see, their operational costs, which we'll call a baseline of 100 with the old methods, dropped all the way down to 80 after they switched to the algorithm-optimized approach. That's a huge, real-world saving visualized right there.
The bottom line? A massive 20% reduction in their last-mile costs. Now, for a company this big, that's not just saving a bit of cash. We're talking millions, even tens of millions of dollars every single year. But it wasn't just about money. By making everything more efficient, they also got packages to people faster, and their customer satisfaction scores actually went up. It was a total win-win. So what this all really points to is a massive shift in how things are done. The future of delivery isn't about just getting more vans or hiring more people. It's about building an intelligent, adaptive system that learns and gets better on its own, in real time. It's about turning the most expensive, frustrating part of logistics into a sleek, efficient operation.
And this leaves us with a really fascinating question to chew on. As these algorithms get smarter and smarter, are we getting close to a world where a perfectly timed, zero-error delivery isn't some luxury service, but just the new normal? What does that future look like for how we shop and how we live? It's definitely something to think about the next time you click, "Track my package."